Hi, this is Diane Gilson. Welcome to today's session on smarter, better, faster in QuickBooks. We all want to be smarter, better, and faster, but especially if you're in this course, it's in QuickBooks that you're looking to add those qualities to what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And we have today a bushel basket full of tips, hints, insights, and techniques. So we're going to just bombard you with a whole lot of things that you can do to make your life in QuickBooks smarter, better, and faster. So our theme today is sharing in the harvest. And of course, the harvest is all the many years that I've spent working in QuickBooks and finding faster, better ways to get around. And of course, I haven't done all that on my own. I've learned from everyone, all sorts of conferences, other ProAdvisors, online access, and working with my clients. So I'm going to try to share a lot of these things with you. So some of the tricks of the trade, we're going to start out briefly talking about your files and your focus. Those are just kind of some general oversights before we jump into a lot of the more detailed pieces. We're going to talk about navigating with ease, what you see, okay, some of the different ways that you can view information, and faster, easier data entry. So let's jump into the handouts. That's a good place to start. And let's start with the file and focus. Okay, so first of all, one of the things that you can do in QuickBooks now, effective in 2011 versions and above, is there's a background preference to keep your QuickBooks running in the background for faster startups. So in order to get that to work, you're going to go into your QuickBooks file and into your preferences, edit preferences, and you're going to go to the general tab right here and click on keep QuickBooks running for quick startups. And that would be right here. And you just click that on and then say okay, and that's going to keep that running in the background. Now you want to remember that this is going to be running on RAM in the background. If you've got memory issues, this might not be the thing to do if you've got RAM memory issues on your computer. But if you don't, this is a really great way to make it so that as you're in and out of your QuickBooks file throughout the day, if you close it and then come back and open it, it will really reduce the startup time. So the next thing is there's the option to open a second company file. Now this is limited. It's only available in the QuickBooks Accountants Edition or in Enterprise. But if you're particularly in Enterprise, you'll see up here at the very top where it says Open Second Company. And if we wanted to do that, it would actually pull up another QuickBooks session and you could open up a second company at the same time. So this is really great if you want to copy and paste things between different companies, or you need to look at two different files at the same time to see what's going on. So that was a real nice advancement. Now, we've had a lot of classes prior to this, and we're going to be having more classes after this. And so some of the things that we're going to cover today may be things that you already know, but hopefully you're going to get ideas for a lot of other new things. So there may be a little bit of repeat on some of these things as we go through, but at least we've got all of these ideas gathered in one place. So if you find that there's one thing that you already know, great, just move on to the next thing and hopefully you'll come up with at least a dozen or more great ideas to help you get around in the system more quickly. So the next thing we want to talk about is keeping an eye on your file size, because larger files do take longer to run, and files that are bigger than 60 megabytes in Pro and Premier will ultimately begin to slow down as you start running reports. Now, if it doesn't do that for you, that's absolutely wonderful, but don't be surprised if you see that happening. So I'm going to just go up right now and I'm going to check, and we're going to look at our file size, and here you'll see it's 39308, which means that you're about 39 megabyte. This is our sample file. It's not approaching that 60, 70 megabyte area. So we shouldn't have any problems with speed in this particular file, but if you start getting really large files, things are going to slow down a bit on you. let's see, if you can, you want to work in single user mode. And of course, I'm sure you all know how to flip over into the single user mode. So if you're working alone in the file, no point in leaving it in multi-user mode. Flip over into single user mode. Things will act a little faster. If your file size starts getting really too large, you might want